Life at home was very difficult. I was quite a stubborn child. I was often quite a recluse, and that could be on the flip side, that I was hyperactive, wouldn't accept things, wouldn't listen. All of the classic things really that you'd associate with that, and therefore home life, meal times especially, things like that were difficult. It sort of carried over into school as well. It was always the classic thing, he's got potential, he's obviously got brains but never applies it. Back then I could be very strange, I could be a recluse, strange. Obviously the impulsivity brought things out that you don't want to say or do. Really badly behaved.
One of my teachers said, to my mum, Bev's a wonderful girl, she's a great person, but she won't amount to anything. And that is a really, really sad thing, because it stuck with me. And at 34 years old, I'm trying to get rid of that. And I find that incredibly difficult still, to this day.
Constantly sent out of class. I'd stayed in a class about 5 minutes, something like that, and I'd get let back in. I'd get let back in quite often because it wasn't bad stuff, it was just making a joke, which was probably inappropriate to stop the teacher from teaching.
So I went to see the headmaster and did try to get something from him, saying, look, there's something. I'd always felt there was something as his mother, but I didn't quite know why, and that was why we chose that school, because it was a bit smaller. But they would refuse. They said we don't want to label children at this age, and I said, give me a label. I said, and then we can deal with it.
I was glad when school was over, definitely. It was a miserable time. Because I didn't fit in a dynamic of girlfriends, I started to hang around with men and sort of got sexual very early in age. I was 14 when I lost my virginity, and it wasn't to somebody of my own age, it was someone a lot older. I took massive risks. I was lucky that I didn't end up being stabbed or raped or anything like that, because I would take every risk possible.
I was very emotionally sensitive as a child, but I didn't seem to have that hard shell. Everything got to me too much, if that makes any sense. And part of the problem with that, I found as well, is that I probably came across as, I don't know, too needy or clingy, or when someone, an acquaintance, friend, peer would pay me any attention, it'd be like, I'd be in there, yeah, all right, best buddies for the, whenever they're just, whoa, back off, dude.
I applied and went to uni. I mean, pretty much from the first day I was there, I was never going to be able to even start interacting with a university degree. I just didn't know how to plan, no forward thinking, got sucked into the whole social scene. But I mean, certainly that was a secondary issue. That was just, instead of confronting what was going on, really. In the first term I was there, or second term, I became a complete recluse because I didn't know, I was lost really. It was like just sort of going through limbo. It was time for me to accept that there was something that needed to change. And I think I was subconsciously desperate for an explanation.
I got some GCSEs, I got 2 A levels, I went to university, and I pulled out halfway through my course. I couldn't concentrate on the academic kind of stuff. It was boring.
Books, they're not on the agenda, they never have been. Watching films, I can't watch a film in silence. Like, I can watch it on my own in silence because I can do stuff on my phone or something like that while I'm watching it. But if someone else is there, I'll make comments on the film as I go along. I'm not one of those people who just sit there and go like that.
Doing household chores, I'll bring washing down and I'll think, right, I've got to put that in the washing machine. So I'll put it next to the washing machine, and then next to the washing machine is the dishwasher. So I'll start undoing the dishwasher, start putting stuff in the drawers and cupboards for the dishwasher. Then I'll go, I'll look for some parts for the dishwasher. Then I'll go into the front room, start looking for parts. Then I'll start tidying up in there. And basically nothing ever gets properly done.
Say, for example, I'm sitting down and I want to work on the computer. It was almost like, okay, I've got the screen in front of me and I'm wanting to work on that. But I've got this, all these thoughts and ideas and everything flowing, and I've got to fight through them just to get to what I'm wanting to work on. And it's certainly not that I don't have ideas or have thoughts or things like that. The problem is I have too many.
In terms of friendships these days, ADHD can affect certainly things that I say I'm going to do with events or gatherings or birthdays, and I clearly can't do them even when I've said I clearly can because of financial reasons or just time.
Ultimately, it can be incredibly frustrating. If you are in a relationship and you are disorganised and the person that you're with is very organised, I think that can cause a lot of tension, And I remember my partner putting a load of bin bags by the front door, in front of the front door, to remind me to take them out, and apparently I stepped over them.
I think Joe struggles if I ask him to tidy his bedroom up and empty the dishwasher.
Why is that a struggle?
I don't know. See, I don't understand that. But then Joe will say, look, now you're asking me to do too much. And so, and he'll actually then be sort of, well, not confrontational, but it'll just be difficult. And he'll say, I'm not going to do any of it for you now.
A common thing with ADHD is you just kind of have children young and have quite a few children and sort of stuff like that. School routine, disastrous, always late, never on time, never organised. My house was a tip, still is a mess, but it's a reasonable mess now, whereas it was like, sort of, right, Zach's nappy's off, right, and I'll pick that up later and stuff like that.
It's more been frustrations over time than surprises. Things like going out, leaving the back door wide open but setting the alarm, going out, leaving the front door keys in the front door, not locking the car, never having any money on him, forgetting all sorts of things. It's limitless.
I've engaged more with services like those from the QMC. I've looked at my medication and changed the dosage a bit, and I've developed a few systems for myself because I've been able to slow down and just have a look, particularly during the summer, about how I can do things differently.
It made me understand why I am the way I am. And it was like, being told by a psychiatrist that you're not stupid and that you are all right. That was good. It was also sad at the same time, because if they could have found that when I was a little girl, I could have been achieving so much now. And I just think, and part of me just thinks, maybe I'm a bit of a letdown because I'm not doing what I want to do. And I desperately want to, but I don't know how to.
Without sounding cheesy, getting the diagnosis has changed my life as such, because now I've got the help. Obviously, I was not doing well at school, and then at college I came out and I was one of the best students.
I think at last for Joe it was a relief to know that there was something that was causing it.
I was so kind of relieved, and that I thought I was going a bit mad, and almost like a hypochondriac, because I knew there was stuff that was wrong with me, but kind of didn't know what. So everything that I was hearing around me, I was linking to and sort of going, well, that's like me, but kept on being told, well, no, you can't, you're an adult, you grow out of ADHD. It's like having your glasses cleaned after them being steamed up. I just feel more awake. My friends have noticed that I'm more focused.
I certainly didn't feel great, hey, I've got ADHD. I felt good because I had an idea of what the issue was, and knowing what the issue was, I also knew that there were, okay, now we can deal with it. Now we can figure something out. There are pharmacological aspects that can be dealt with. There are CBT aspects that can be taken into account. You know, we can develop strategies to deal with this. Great. But on the other side, okay, I've got ADHD. I've got a label, you know, and I felt this kind of self-imposed stigma attached to it.
I was aware of it, but to me it was always something kids had. You know, it was the child bouncing off the walls at school, and because the hyperactivity element was there. But Scott's never, since I've known him, he's always been the calm one. You know, he's never had that sort of bouncing off the wall type thing going on. So I think it very much surprised me. It's been some serious light bulb moments since the diagnosis. It's learning to accept that sometimes it's not the end of the world if the milk gets forgotten, and you can always take things into school if they get left behind and things like that.
At the moment, I'm obviously, like you said, doing football coaching. I've recently started doing it, running a certain franchise in the Nottingham area. I feel my ADHD helps me with that because obviously I can relate to the kids. They're more, you know, energetic rather than, you know, turning up a bit, you know, morning I'm tired, you know. Once I'm up, and it helps me with the kids. So I get involved and relate. I'm just like one of the kids.
I've been doing the job now for quite a few months. Can't remember how long. Initially, when I first started there, it was great because I could kind of, you know, do the important things in the morning and get that all out the way and kind of have a more sociable afternoon, as it were. But now my job role is about being totally switched on for the whole day, and it's an absolute nightmare.
What makes it difficult?
Looking at spreadsheets with numbers on. I mean, how boring is that?
I'm working from home, my wife works from home. There are a lot of great things about working from home, but everything here distracts me. Most people, when they turn around from something, they can answer whatever it is, and then they turn back and they go back to what they were doing. Whenever I turn away from whatever I'm doing and look back to it, I don't really know where I was.
So there are times when I've been able to, you know, come up with an idea or a concept that wouldn't have been possible for everyone else, but it would have taken them more time.
Being spontaneous, and I love that about me, and I think it's a great thing, and I think other people can feed off that, and they're like, yay, Bev's being spontaneous.
I'm a funny guy, you know what I mean? I make people laugh. Probably could do it for a living.
You have wacky ideas. You decide to go to drive all the way to Birmingham for a McDonald's, drive to Skegness for a pair of sunglasses.
I have energy like crazy. You know, I get out of bed in the morning, and you know, I think everyone has that initial sleepiness, but quite often it's very easy for me just to hit the ground running.
It has taken a long time still. I mean, there's still every single issue there, but they're just slowly sort of alleviating.
Rather than seeing it as, you know, a negative thing, or it's because you're thick, or because you're, you know, stupid, or because you're lazy, or because you just can't be arsed ever. You know, it's about, you know, making the best of what you have.
I'm not worried that I might have to take these for the rest of my life, because this is what's making me think more, and actually things that I thought I was incapable of, I'm very capable of doing.
It's getting better. I find that if I say I'm going to spend 15 minutes on something, then I can use that as a kind of a hyper-focus type and just move, boom, 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 and get it done.
For me, it's been a big learning curve, and it's taken me some time to get used to the whole idea, because this is for life. And we're getting there. We're getting there slowly, but we're getting there. Yeah.